Alright guys, so in this video we're going to talk about everything you need to know about the Echoes of Oz campaign. We have the deck right here with all the information, all the champions, all the events, the event dungeon, everything that you need to know, everything that is tied to the Echoes of Oz campaign. So let's get into it. So here's a quick summary. Raid Shadow Legends presents an upcoming Echoes of Oz campaign that will feature a various in-game event, thematic reward calendar, 5 thematic legendary champions, time-limited event dungeon, champion proving grounds dungeon with Echoes of Oz dedicated rotation, the return of the previously limited relics, and new loyalty program featuring free login champion. The duration is from the 19th of August. That will start in 5 days until November the 10th, so almost 3 months, a little bit less. And yeah, okay, so we will see a return of relics that will be very interesting, and I'm super hyped about this one, but we're going to get to it later. And also, all these Echoes of Oz champions will be tied most likely to the primary pool of the Proving Grounds dungeon, so you might want to pick them up if you can, okay? So the Bastion will get a new design, as you can see, tied to the event, very greenish. And also there will be a new soundtrack playing in the background, but yeah, I don't think it's, I don't know, it's kind of weird with all the green crystals. I don't know how I feel about that, but yeah, it doesn't really matter that much. But here are all the champions, okay? The Cowardly Lion will be the mixed fusion. We already talked about it in the last video. But you can also get him from shards on September the 4th. Will probably be a progressive chance event. And most likely they will introduce a summoning pool for prism summons, right? For all of these champions. So there will be plenty of chances to get them, right? But yeah, to do the fusion is probably the best way, right? Because it is a mixed fusion. Those are not the hardest fusions to do. They cost less than those traditional ones. And I think he's a pretty good champion. Will he be the top tier, you know, game-changing champion? Probably not, but he will be beneficial for a lot of accounts. And I also think he will be good for the event dungeon, if you don't have other great options. Then we have Dorothy Gale, the loyalty champion. You can also get her from shards on November the 10th. But yeah, you will be able to pick her up after 7 days, and then after 14 days you will get the 5-star soul. You will pick up, you know, perfect 2-star soul, and then split souls after that, 3, 4, and 5, which is good because she needs accuracy to land the debuffs. It's definitely worth to pick up that soul. Then we have the Tin Woodman, and he's going to be available through shards on August the 19th already. That's the start of the campaign. But I think they're going to introduce a guaranteed event somehow. And those champions right here, the Tin Woodman and the Scarecrow, we haven't seen them yet, but we're going to talk about the kits as well, right? But here you can see so far they only say they're going to be available through shards on August the 19th. I'm pretty sure they're going to put them in a deck path or whatever to, you know, have a guaranteed chance to get them. So you should probably start saving shards and soul stones like yesterday, okay? Ozilda the Wicked, we also already seen her kit. She's the event dungeon boss. And she will also have a shard event on November the 10th, which is the same day as Dorothy Gale. All right. We talked about the loyalty champion. We talked about the mixed fusion already. By the way, if you haven't checked it out, go ahead and check out the videos. You can all find them in the description or in the comment section below. And now let's talk about the new champions. Here's a quick turnaround video of the Scarecrow. It looks like he has a scissor on his hands, but yeah, pretty nasty claws there. Kind of a fiery hat. I don't know. All of these champions have kind of a funny design. So here's the kit. It's a legendary Spirit Affinity champion from the Undead Hordes support type. And let's talk about the A1, the Crow Hunter. Attacks one enemy 2 times, a double hit, okay? The first hit has a 75% chance, if booked, of placing a 50% decreased resistance debuff for 2 turns. That is actually big. The second hit has a 75% chance, if booked, of placing a decrease accuracy debuff for 2 turns. Oh, wow. These debuffs cannot be resisted if any ally, including this champion, has been killed at least once during the battle. Wow, this is a crazy skill. The first thing that pops up in my mind is Chimera. Okay, for Chimera Trials, this is crazy. Let's take a look at the rest of his kit, because now I'm intrigued. Smart Thinking is the A2. Decreases the cooldowns of all allies except this champion's by 1 turn. Okay, so decreasing cooldowns by 1 turn. Places a increased resistance buff. Yes, that is amazing. We don't have enough increased resistance buff champions in the game, and this one seems like one of the go-to champions for Chimera now. Just basically because he has this buff and those debuffs. That kind of like sets him up for the right week on Viper Trials. But you also need to decrease resistance on the line form on the right week. So pretty amazing. So he has increased resistance and increased accuracy at the same time. So that helps with the middle week on the ramp form. So he places those buffs for 2 turns, and it can be booked down to a 3-turn cooldown. The A3, all stitched up. 4-turn cooldown if booked. And so far he doesn't need a lot of books. That's 4, 8. And his passive needs 1, so 9 books. It's a very low count of books. So the A3 revives an ally, so he's a reviver, with 50% HP and 50% turn meter, and places block damage buff on that ally for 2 turns. Also places a 25% fortify buff on all allies. This is a pretty good revive, even though it's a single target revive, but with block damage. So when I think about Chimera on the RAM form, where you get the reflect damage, you can kind of kill your nuker from the reflect damage, right? Then revive him with the block damage, and then he can actually deal damage for 2 turns. Block damage for 2 turns is insane. That is a very nice revive. I think he might be one of the better revivers for Chimera now, actually. He might be competing, or he might be a good replacement for someone like Galatier, which has very similar debuffs. But Galatier is a little bit different. He has the perfect veil, he has the heals, the turn meter boost, right? And the block debuffs. So you kind of have to bring someone else for block debuffs if you need it. But in general, he kind of, has similar buffs and debuffs. He has the increased accuracy and the decreased resistance. So yeah, pretty amazing so far, okay? For Chimera, he will be top tier, I'm pretty sure. So let's talk about the passive. This has a 3-turn cooldown if booked, the active effect. Whenever this champion is killed, revives them with 50% and 50% turn meter, then removes all debuffs from all allies. Okay, so whenever this champion is killed, he gets revived, but you have a 3-turn cooldown on it. And then he cleanses all debuffs. Kind of interesting. Interesting. He has a self-revive on the passive. That is pretty cool. The passive effect of this is that this champion becomes immune to fear, true fear, provoke, and petrification debuffs if any ally, including this champion, has been killed at least once during the battle. Alright, so I think this is pretty good for the event dungeon boss. If you don't have other options, like I said, immune to fear. I think you have like a 50% chance to get feared if you place buffs on your allies against the event dungeon boss. And he will be immune to fear if at least one ally, him or an ally, die before the fear is trying to get placed. So yeah, a pretty good passive. I like the self-revive. And if one of your allies dies at least once, let's say in a Chimera battle, one of your allies dies, the nuker on ram form, for example, and you revive him, he doesn't need accuracy to place any debuffs, right? You can build him completely without accuracy, stack resistance and speed and HP and defense, make him tanky, make him resist stuff. And he doesn't need accuracy to place those debuffs, the decreased resistance and decreased accuracy, which will make it a lot easier to build him for Chimera or PvE stuff. I don't see him being crazy good for PvP, but for PvE, he will be one of the best revivers, actually, for Chimera trials, at least. Increases ally accuracy in all battles by 60. Accuracy aura, alright, I guess. But overall, his kit looks amazing, okay? 2 debuffs, 2 buffs, cooldown decrease, revive with block damage, fortify, immune to fear, self-revive, and the cleanse occasionally. This is a pretty solid kit, to be honest. So yeah, I would give this guy 9 out of 10 for Chimera. And then he will be also great for like faction wars and other PvE content, right? All right, let's take a look at the Tin Woodman. Again, a weird fire in his face. Like, what is going on there? I'm not quite sure, but this design looks a little bit unspectacular to me. Kind of reminds me of Georgid a little bit. So here's the kit, a legendary champion from the Bannerlords faction, Magic Affinity defense type. And his A1 is called Hewing X. Attacks one enemy, heals this champion by 15% of their max HP. You get 10% more heal on an A1 if booked. Alright, I guess. Yeah. Not too impressed by this A1, but okay. A2, Valid Now, attacks one enemy, inflicts 10% more damage, and ignores 10% defense for each buff on this champion. So 10 buffs means 100% more damage, double damage, and you ignore 100% defense, so pure damage, pure double damage, so to say. That sounds crazy, but it's just a single hit and a single target attack. That, I mean, if the multipliers are crazy on this one, he might actually delete some, might be able to delete some bosses. I'm not sure, but let's see. Then directs all other allies to team up and attack the same target. The allies joining the attack will use their default skills. Wow. Okay, so we have an ally attack. So first you attack one enemy. You have all these damage ramped up with every buff that you have. And then you have an ally attack. We have a lot of ally attacks in these Oz champions, which is kind of interesting, but it does make sense. Yeah, let's keep on reading. Increases the damage inflicted by allies teaming up to attack the target and their ignore defense effects by 5%, 10% for Dorothy, the Tin Woodman, the Scarecrow, and the Cowardly Lion for each buff on this champion. That is pretty cool. The more buffs you have on him, the more damage your allies will do on this ally attack. This is actually a very, very strong ally attack. This will hit very, very hard, right? Because you can easily reach 100% def ignore with this ally attack, which means pure damage from every champion. This is pretty nasty. And you also have a weaken on the A1 of Dorothy, I believe. I don't think there's a decreased defense on any of the A1s, if I remember correctly, but you don't need it, right? If you have enough buffs, you will ignore all the defense. So that is pretty smart. I think they actually thought about this one, okay? So this is a very strong ally attack. Resets the cooldown of the Lumber Machine, which is the A3, if the target is killed. Can be booked down to a 4-turn cooldown. All right. I'm pretty intrigued about this ally attack. It looks pretty nasty. Lumber Machine attacks all enemies. Before attacking, places a 30% increased crit damage buff and a 15% shatter buff on all allies for 2 turns. Will ignore 5% of each target's defense for each buff on this champion. Wow, so he's all about buffs. Okay, the more buffs you have on him, the more damage he will do. And the more damage the allies will do as well. It's a 4-turn cooldown, can be booked down to a 3-turn cooldown, and you have a revival death buff if you kill an enemy for 1 turn, okay? Yeah, okay. I mean, it's okay, I guess. Crit damage and shatter, you ignore more defense, and then you get additional 10% def ignore for the buffs, right? So you are at 25% just from this skill. Pretty nasty. He's all about def ignore and stuff. It's crazy. The passive, True Heart, decreases the damage all allies receive by 15%. 30% for Dorothy Gale, the Tin Woodman, the Scarecrow, and the Cowardly Lion. This champion receives the damage instead. Oh, okay, so he's kind of like a tank, kind of like a ally protection passive here. Wow, okay, interesting. If the damage received in this way exceeds 50% of this champion's max HP, places a Revive on Death buff on this champion for 2 turns. If the damage received in this way exceeds 50% of this champion's max HP, activates the Hewing Axe skill against the enemy with the lowest HP, and that's the A1. So he heals up again. Wow, that reminds kind of the golden elixir, right? So if you're building very tanky, he might be actually to solo some stuff. If he has good base HP, you can build him with a lot of HP. Every time he drops below 50%, he will heal up again, and then just kind of like goes back and forth there. I can see something there as well. If there are multiple champions on the team with this skill, only one will activate, and so on. Whenever this champion receives damage via the skill, increases this champion's defense by 10%, stacks up to 100%. Holy, 100% more defense? So he's ramping up damage as well. And then he has a all battles death aura 30%. Wow, this kid looks super interesting. Overall, I think the Oz champions have great kits. And I can't wait to see them in action all together. I think this is a very, very crazy synergy with ally attack. You will deal pure damage basically. Just the multipliers have to be on point, and I think you will delete some stuff with this. Okay, interesting, very interesting. He's kind of like a offense champion, but also protects all the other ones. So he's kind of like playing both roles here. So yeah, very intrigued to see how this guy or how this ally attack will perform. I think it will be insanely strong. All right. So these are the 2 new champions that we haven't talked about yet. The Scarecrow and the Tin Woodman. I think for Chimera, Scarecrow will be absolutely amazing. And then I think for like ally attack stuff, the Tin Woodman will be really, really great. Okay, there's a lot of ignore defense going on. All right, we talked about the event dungeon boss, but we haven't talked about the event dungeon itself. So this is the most interesting part probably for most of you guys. We will have the Chronophage set back in this event dungeon, and I'm gonna farm as much as I can because the Chronophage set is so good in PvP with the Mercurial set that, it's tiers above Pinpoint now and the better one. I remember when it first came out, there was no Mercurial set and nobody was actually hyped about it, but now the 4-piece Mercurial, 4-piece Chronophage is meta, okay? So yeah, I will definitely invest some energy in here, and I would advise anybody that is, trying to do PvP to do the same, okay? So the Chronophage set is back, finally. And then, this is my favorite part, we will get the Discovery group again, okay? This is probably one of my favorite relic groups. And I'm kind of regretting not going for Xibias on the Ninja Turtles collab. And hopefully I can get it this time. So if you have a nice, I would definitely advise you to try to get this relic because it's like one of the best relics you can put on him. And then you also have the stars. Okay, the stars are incredibly strong. You get so much turn meter. A lot of players hate it to go against it, right? They want to see it nerfed, but I think it's fine. And yeah, overall, I think those 2 relics are some of the best ones we have in the entire game. Okay, so I will definitely try to get Xybius. I hope I get one. Yeah, you don't really need more than one. 2 is okay. Maybe for like, I don't know, rare siege post stuff, but who really does that is a really small group of people. So yeah, you kind of want to have one for nice. That's kind of like it. Or if you have a second one, maybe a second Xybius as well. But from the stars, you definitely can't have enough of. So yeah, pretty strong relic group, and I can't wait to get some relic mets from this. So that's kind of like what I saved up for, okay? I have so many shards saved up for this, and I can't wait. Then we will have an avatar frame, or avatar frames, and a badge. And look at this avatar. So 3 new avatar frames will be added to the game. Ozilda styled avatar frame, which is the one with the eye. The Tin Man styled avatar frame. So there will be in-game events, okay. And a Frontier event, which is probably a path. I don't know which one is the Tin Man, probably the top left one, this one right here. And then an Oz themed avatar frame, which is the one at the bottom right, you know, the greenish one. And this one will be achievable through collecting all event champions. And that means all of these guys right here, right? Lion, Dorothy Gale, the Tin Woodman, the Scarecrow, and Ozilda the Wicked. Gotta get all of them. I think Ozilda will probably be the hardest one to get. Most likely from a Champ Chase tournament by winning it. And yeah, we will see, okay? But I think that's gonna be the case. But you only will get this stuff if you collect them all by November the 10th, so by the end of this campaign. Additionally, players will have a chance to earn a new achievement badge. Okay, if you collect all champions. If you manage to get all event champions, you receive a special in-game badge. And then also the Toto avatar, which is probably what most players want. Then you have a gift as well. If you collect all champions, the gift doesn't look too crazy, to be honest. I think last time on the Ninja Turtles collab, I mean, not last time, but on the Ninja Turtles collab, we had the Xybius relic. Now we only kind of get guaranteed legendary relics. We did get the Covetous Passion for the last one on the Web of Corruption. But yeah, I guess they don't want to give out those strong relics that easily. So you will get a thematic profile background. Okay, actually pretty cool. Now that we got like profile backgrounds, so you can get a new one here by collecting all champions. Limited avatar frame. This is the same one. The legendary relic Last Love is not bad actually. It's a pretty good one. And those gemstones, kind of on the lower tier side, I would say. The best one is probably Uncontrollable, the one in the middle. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all about this event. I will definitely farm a lot of event dungeon, and I can't wait to get some relic mats as well. So these two things are very, very important for PvP. And overall, I think the Oz champions do look pretty strong. I can't wait to see the ally tag of the Tin Woodman. I think this ally tag will be insane. And then the Scarecrow will be a great choice for Chimera. Alright guys, but that's about it for this video. Let me know in the comments below what you think. What is your favorite champion? Will you go for some relic mats of the Discovery group? Will you farm the event dungeon? Or do you actually not care that much? Let me know in the comments below. And with that being said, thank you guys for watching. As always, like and subscribe if you haven't already. And if you enjoyed this video, YouTube's going to think that you like this one as well. Take care and see you in the next one.